Good afternoon, coming to you from the Skyline Studios, high above beautiful Cape Coral here in sunny Southwest Florida. We've got music, sunshine, and great conversation coming up with our guest, Jacob Engelking. I'm Ken Ullman, and this is the Endless Summer Podcast. So here at the Endless Summer Podcast, we talk about music, the bar scene, and other local happenings in the Cape Coral, Fort Myers area. But mostly, we want to tell the stories of the singers and songwriters that make Southwest Florida a great place to hear live music and some very talented people. Before we get into our conversation with Jacob Engelking, a big shout out to our sponsor, Dockside Juicery. Located right here in Cape Harbor, they offer amazing organic juices and smoothies, the best berry bowls on the planet, healthy bites, wellness shots, avocado toast, and a whole lot more. So stop by the Dockside Juicery and say hello to Damon and Raina. You will not be disappointed. All right, so living in Southwest Florida is really like living in an endless summer. And with that comes great live music, which brings me to today's guest, Jacob Engelking. Jacob, welcome.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Glad to have you here today. So I always start out to try to find out if we're ever going to meet a native Floridian.
Right.
Are you from Florida?
No.
Okay.
Not a native Floridian.
So we're 100 for 100 or whatever you call that. Yeah. So where are you from?
Michigan. Yeah, I was born in Michigan. I wasn't really raised there. I lived there till I was about 5 years old. And I moved down here. So I guess you could, I don't know, I'm not really a native Floridian, but I've lived here long enough and it feels like home. I'm been here myself about 3.5 now, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. No, those nice. Cold Michigan winters, I guess, right? I love them actually.
Oh, did you?
People hate them, but I do actually love the winter. Yeah. I love the cold.
Yeah, if you're are you a skier or a snowmobile guy or just like the cold?
Just like the cold.
Yeah, and some people do. I've always just been a warm weather guy, so I was thrilled coming down to Florida. How long have you been playing guitar? For
about 5 or 6 years now. I started when I was about 14, 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just came about.
Yeah. I always like to ask, how did you know that you could sing too? Like, how did you discover, like, hey, I might be able to do this?
I didn't find out until I just started singing. So I started from Ed Sheeran. I don't know if you know who that is.
Oh yeah.
But he's one of my biggest inspirations. And I heard one of his songs one day in the car, and I went home. I learned it immediately.
Yeah.
And I just started singing, and I was terrible. I was terrible.
Huh.
It didn't start off good at all, but just the more you sing, you just get better, I think. Because, I don't know, I never really took vocal lessons, but the more you sing, when you're singing for 6 years, you gotta get better.
Yeah. Well, and people start to recognize that you have the talent, and that makes sense. It's interesting because some people that have had formal singing lessons still may not be great singers. Just sometimes I think it's I'm sure it's a combination of training and also just talent, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes I think the talent side is bigger than the training side.
Yeah. I think a big factor is if you want it, if it's a big motivation for you, and
you're absolutely
it ended up being something I really wanted to do. Once I learned how to play guitar, it was just something I was like, I don't know, I just want to do it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's. It's great because I've heard you play over at Rum Runners. Obviously, you have a great voice, you play well, and you're right there. So that's a good thing. Anything specific get you started, or you just picked up a guitar?
Yeah, it's a story. So I was in the car with my dad after some wedding thing.
Yeah.
I was in the car with my dad, and he was connected to the Bluetooth. He played an Ed Sheeran cover.
Okay.
It wasn't someone else. It was Ed Sheeran covering a song.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "What is this? This is amazing."
Yeah.
He told me what it was. It was an Irish song that he was covering.
Oh, okay.
An Irish song. And so I went home, learned it that night. I didn't, it wasn't perfect, but I was learning it. Took me about a week, and then after that, it was just kept on going. Yeah,
wow.
I listened to all his songs.
That's pretty neat.
That's
pretty neat.
Start right there.
I play, my duo, my friend Aaron and I play. We play Thinking Out Loud, and I play the A-Team. So two of my favorite songs by Ed Sheeran. I like sing, but I can't sing that high, so so I gave up on that one.
Get up higher.
Yeah. So how long have you been actually playing professionally? Like actually out for money?
Yeah. So when I first started, I practiced for about 2 years. I didn't start playing out it actually wasn't my choice. I went to an open mic just for fun.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm
good way to get started.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty good at this now. I'm like, maybe I can go and go sing in front of people. So I went to this. I don't know if you ever heard of Fat Point. It's a beer.
No.
It's a beer company. It's called Fat Point, and they had a brewery in Punta Gorda.
Oh, okay.
And I went there for their open mic, and I sang, and the manager came up to me and was like, "Can we book you?"
Wow.
And we had no equipment, nothing.
Wow.
And we were like, yeah. So we went, bought all the equipment, and that was my start. I started there, and ever since then, I've been playing ever since.
That's a great story. I've never actually heard someone say they went to an open mic night and somebody up and they booked and they were, that's
literally
really cool.
they booked me that
Wow.
night. That night they booked me. Yeah.
So I know obviously Ed Sheeran is an influence. Any other artists or particular that you like or that you?
Yeah, I also produce music. So a big artist of mine his name is Phineas.
Okay.
Now,
Don't recognize that
You've never
one.
heard of him, but he's a really good producer. He's crazy. He uses all these different sounds, and it's really amazing. Yeah, if you search up Phineas, it should pop right up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Finneneas.
Finneas. Yeah, we'll definitely have to check him out.
He's really good. Another one's Harry Styles. And then obviously I take inspiration from older artists like the Beatles, all that stuff. Yeah. They all have influence in my music all the time.
You know, the classic, we talk about that a lot when we interview folks, is the classic stuff it's classic, it'll never grow old on,
if you're playing music, you have to love it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to love it. So that's neat. So what makes a gig great for you? Like when you're out playing at Rum Runners, what do you look for in the audience? What do you look for that day that kind of makes you walk away saying this was a good day?
Interaction, yeah. When they clap along, sing along.
Yep.
When they're actually interacted. I mean, I've been to a handful of gigs, not even a handful, a bunch of gigs actually that have, no one cares. They're just kind of, and you have those though. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But when they're really involved, that's what gives you the energy. That's what makes you play better, sing better. The whole thing, and that's the best thing.
I would agree. Yeah. I mean, obviously, when you see people tapping their feet or singing along, right away, you're doing the right thing. You're entertaining them, and they're having fun, and then you're having fun, and that's
exactly.
And I will tell you from my own experience that people notice when you're having a good time when you're playing. They totally get that. So
I think you're feeding each other, kind of.
Yeah,
you're having
absolutely,
fun and you have the energy. It gives them energy.
Absolutely.
It's back and forth. It's a back and forth thing.
And you obviously have an Ed Sheeran guitar that he's going to play in a few minutes for us. But any other guitars that you?
I have a lot.
You do? Wow.
I have about,
young collector. I like that.
I have about 15 to 20.
Oh my goodness.
They're all in my room, hung up. It's a whole thing. Oh, geez.
Any electrics or?
I do have a lot of electrics,
okay.
But one of my favorites is a Gretsch. My dad got me for my graduation. It is a white and gold.
Oh, nice.
Gretsch, yeah.
I have one in the closet. I'll have to show it to you before you head out.
I don't know what to do with all of it. It has a wah-wah thing. I don't know what to do.
And it's heavy.
And it's
yes.
heavy.
We both know Gretches are heavy.
Yeah, it is
so wow, and obviously Ed Sheeran is probably your favorite artist, I would say, right? But I know you write songs, right? Mm-hmm. You write your own stuff, and you also collaborate with people. Mm-hmm. One of whom is we're gonna interview on a future podcast, Adriana McDonald.
Yeah,
I believe is gonna come in for Adriana McDonald. So tell me about the song you wrote with her.
It's called Cafe. It was one of the so for me I had wrote the verse for it, and how it started is I was in my room. I kind of had like a writer's block, I guess. I just couldn't write anything that I thought was good enough to put into a song. But then I was sitting there. I have this little picture in my room. It's like a impressionist type picture.
Right.
It says cafe on it, and I was like, you know what? I want to use that word in the song. I thought that was really cool. I like the word cafe. I think it's cool. And so I wrote the first verse that you hear in the song now. If you were to go look it up, cafe. That first verse is exactly what I wrote, and then I sent it to her.
Wow.
I sent it to her, and we just kept on going back and forth with lyrics.
And did she write music, lyrics, both? Did you both collaborate on both, or how did that go?
I did the chords and some lyrics, but she did her verse, and then I think we both wrote the chords together. I don't remember.
No,
it was a while ago, but
it's a good song. It's a really great song. I heard it yesterday. I was listening to it. It's on your YouTube channel.
YouTube channel.
Right?
Spotify, Apple Music. It's on everything. Really.
Okay, so you got
everything that you can listen to music on, it's on it. Yeah.
I would encourage you to get out there and look for Jacob on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. He's got several out there actually. There were several, more than several, maybe 7 or 8 out there at least that I saw. So yeah, I would encourage you to go out and listen to some of Jacob's music. It's really awesome. One other question for you is what. So what are your aspirations? Like what, I know this is what all you do right now, and you were saying you did something, because we were talking earlier about Florida being a side hustle state, where everybody does something else. But right now, this is your full-time thing.
Yeah.
But what are your aspirations? You want to move to California, to Nashville? Are you looking to go somewhere else? Or what's your goals in this?
My goal is to not stay in Florida forever, but that's kind of where the music scene is, so I have to be here for a while, which is all right. But my goal really is, I don't greatly aspire to go to Los Angeles and make a big music career. But what really makes me happy is if I could have a job in some sort of music thing, which I love producing and I love writing music. If I can just write for people, give them my songwriting, I'd love to do something like that. But it's whatever happens. It's not fully up to me, but I'd love to do something like that.
I always thought that'd be a great, to be. That's what I tried to do. Is I was telling you before, I had some songs published, but being a writer behind the scenes, I always thought would be a great thing. That would just be a great thing to do.
I mean, I also produce music, so if I could produce music for people, which I do now, I actually produce music for Adriana.
I
do it for her, and I do it for a couple other people too. But if I could, widen that.
Widen that a little bit.
Get a bunch of people, that'd be fun too. Yeah.
And what do you use to produce?
I just got a Mac recently, and I'm using Logic. Logic Pro.
So your software program, and you're basically doing it. Well, I'll tell you that times have changed from when I had a 24-track recording studio in my house. But it's awesome what you can do now these days. And I heard the quality of the stuff on you. It sounds
crazy.
excellent.
Anyone can do it now.
Yeah, and so you produce for. So there you go. So other artists that might be listening today, if you looking to get your music produced, Jake does music production. Obviously, you also went to school for digital design. You said right? So So I'm going to tap into him for some Premiere Pro tips, obviously, for editing my videos. But you do have a song that you're going to play for us today, I hope. Yeah, absolutely. Let's say so. Jacob's going to play a tune for us. What's the name of this one?
It's called Daydream. It was my first song that I ever released. Not the first song I ever wrote, but the first song I ever released. And that's
cool. Let's hear it. Yeah, looking forward to it.
The cherry tree below, where we sit and write our song, and we'll make a melody that we sing over. And I don't know where my heart wants me to go, because the world is giving up. With the loss of friends, there's no one there to help you. I sit and see a different world that we could live in a place you didn't leave me, but I'm just stuck in my daydream. I think my past gave me a call. I'm thinking back on all my faults, 'cause I'm stressing about it all. And I know I'm taking care of all my problems wrong. If love's a dream, then I never wanna leave. Stay in bed and hold you tight. I realize my life is harder than it needs to be. I sit and see a different world that we can live in a place. You didn't leave me, but I'm just stuck in my daydream.
Wow. That is awesome. I'll tell you. You know, there are so many talented young people out there. I mean, that's awesome.
Thank you.
And that's out there on the Spotify and all the other places. Great.
Daydream.
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 All awesome. One word. So check out Daydream from Jacob Engelking. So you can catch Jacob at Rum Runners and the Waverly in Englewood on Beach Road, and on the web at jacobengelking.com, and on Facebook at Jacob Engelking HQ, as in headquarters. And don't forget to check the Endless Summer Podcast Facebook page and the Endless Summer Podcast YouTube channel for this podcast and others that we'll be posting. So we'll see you in 2 weeks with another awesome guest. But in the meantime, from the Skyline Studios, a big thanks to our guest, Jacob Engelking.
I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for being here. Very talented young man. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you as well. So I'm Ken Allman. Enjoy your endless summer here in Southwest Florida. And this is the Endless Summer Podcast.